Hi, this is a demo for the method management system. So the website is available via this URL. However, our client has informed that their license is temporarily unavailable. So it's operating on a trial mode. So when you get to this page, you have to press the launch. We've provided credentials to reset the gateway. It resets every 2 hours. So please just use them. You can sign in, enter the username that we've provided and that password, and then just reset the trial. So it resets every 2 hours, and then refresh the method statement page. For general use of the app, we provided testing users who have different roles. So we're going to start with Rose, who's an electrician. Okay, so when they log into the app, they get the dashboard that is just a summary of the information regarding the method segments they created and the ones that are assigned to them, and a graph at the bottom showing that. And the second page is the new method statement. This is where users get to create their method statement. Okay, so this is method statement ID 28. Then we're just gonna enter the details for it. And on the drop down, this is just filtered from the data that's already in the system. And we can choose a date. And then the location, we'll keep it at IMV. And then choose the protective way required for that activity. Okay, say they don't need a face shield, we can just remove that from the list. Okay. And then the equipment, conversion cable, we have one available, so we'll just take that one. Then we need hand tools. We have 12 available. Say we'll take 4 of them. Yeah. Ooh, that should have been 3. So we can go back and reselect an item and choose from the available amount. Then for the task steps, we just enter the details. If it doesn't exist, we'll just create one. Do tool and equipment inspection. And same on this list, you can just select and delete to remove that from the list of tasks that you want entered your data set. Then we can select the workers that we want for that activity. So we can say we want an electrician and we get a filtered list. We'll say lady. Then we want 2 assistants. Almost, and we are there. Now let's just say a user didn't enter the site, for example, the activity, and they try to submit the form, we'll get an error incomplete form. So that goes for all the fields that are required for this form. Once we've entered, we enter location, we've entered all the details. There you go. Our form is submitted, and we are now on form 29. The one that we just submitted is form 28. So if you go to the method statement list, this is a list of the method statements that have been created. This is the one that we just created, which is 28. Currently, it is waiting for supervisor feedback. This means that the form cannot be updated. That means you can't say that tools have been returned or tasks have been completed until the supervisor approves it. Also, because I'm logged in as an electrician, I do not have the privileges to update this form. So if we look at the other forms, so that's the status they are waiting for supervisor feedback. There is a form that is open. However, I'm not a required member. I'm not a required worker in that form. So I also can't make any updates to it. I just can view that form only. However, I am included in this form. So once the supervisor approves the form, I can then commit my signature, and then I will be able to have access to update these. Okay, just continuing as the electrician Rose. If we go to the tool inventory, I have access to view what's in the inventory, what's available, what has been checked out, what's under maintenance. So for example, we know that cable conversion cable has been borrowed. One of them has been borrowed. So if you go here, we can see that in total, there's one of them, and currently none are available because one is checked out. But we do not have authority to add any new tools or confirm the return status of tools. So that's all the visibility, the access that we have on this form. If you go to the user management, we don't have access to that, only administrators, help, and FQA, that's just frequently asked questions, and then we have feedback and support. Now going back to the method statement list, we'll just change a user to a user who has supervisor privileges. Okay, we will log in as Zweli. So Zweli is a supervisor. That means he has all the privileges that the general workers do that Rose had. So So Uzweli has all the privileges that Rose had. He has a new method statement. He can access the method statements and view any of them. He can view the tool inventory. He does not have access to the user management. He has access to the help and FK and feedback and support. On the method statement, he is not required to participate in that on any of these forms. But as a supervisor, I can go in if it's awaiting for supervisor feedback, go through the form, and then approve or reject the form. So if it's not detailed enough, you can reject that form. Okay, so that has been updated and it will show up here as the statement has been rejected by the supervisor. This means that logged in users still can't update any of the fields that can be updated on the form. Now, if he can still update it and if he approves it, the option to make any further updates as a supervisor go away since it's been approved. That's the final decision. So it has been approved by the supervisor. That means the workers that are mentioned in that form, they can now come in and make updates. So since we know that Rose is a member, we'll just sign back in as Rose. Now Rose is required for that form. So if I go in and now it says that denied, only listed workers who have signed the form can make updates. So if you go at the bottom, these are the workers who are required to sign the form and they sign over here by acknowledging that they understand and accept what they are going to be doing. So go ahead and sign. So it updates here that Rose has signed the form and now Rose can come in and make updates. So this is total of 1 was borrowed. So I can say 1 was returned in good condition. That gets updated. Can also say 1 was damaged. But since 1 was borrowed, now we have to say none were returned in good condition and 1 was returned damaged, right? Details as to what happened. Maybe it was dropped from height. And then save that information. So that when other users come and view that form, that information will come back since it's been saved to the database. So they can update the tool return statuses. And at the bottom, these are the tasks that were listed out. So they can mark the task as complete. They can also say a task we were not able to complete it, time constraints or some other details that explains why it could not be completed so that when the form is being analyzed later on, it will make sense. And yeah, complete. So any of these 3 users, these are the only users who are allowed to update the specific form since they've been listed here. Now we'll log in as Maga. Maga is a tool inventory supervisor. Okay. So Maga has also the same privileges as everyone else, but in addition to that, Maga can add a new tool. So let's just say Emma HD5. They can select from existing brands or they can add a new brand. I'll go. They can they can specify the size or just leave it as blank and then they can indicate the quantity. They add the new tool. So if we go and we search for a hammer, that will show up the hammer HD45 that we just created. And this is when we created it, so that's the last timestamp for now. Maga also has access to confirm the written statuses of tools. So the method segment that we're working on, we had said that we had borrowed 4 cameras and we returned 2 in good condition. So the tool supervisor can accept or reject that. So if we accept it, so if you go back to the drop down, and we also had a 2D version center. We said 1 was damaged, so we can also reject that or accept it. We'll say that the tool is still not received. Because even if it's in damaged condition, it still has to be returned. So that status can also be updated. And if we go back, the method statement 27 is no longer in the list because all the tools have been confirmed or they have been attended to. Okay, we'll now log in as Sipo, who is an administrator. Sipo has access to the user management system, which means that they can view the roles. This is the jobs within the company, as well as the users. They can add or delete roles here. So just search for PLC programmer. So they can come in and they can remove that from the list. They can also add into the list. They can also edit. So if we just go back. Okay, so we have a safety officer. We can make updates, say officers or some other thing, and we make the update, and it gets updated. Yeah. Refresh. We can also add by pressing the plus button, and we'll just add the PLC programmer back. So PLC, it shows up, and by clicking on it, we can also edit. Yeah. So at the top we have the users, so we can go to any users. We can update their detail as well as assign them different jobs so that on the new method statement, their name will drop down when that specific job or role is selected. So this is where that gets set up. So we just press save and that gets updated. We can also remove workers the same way. So if we just say Asanda, we can remove that user. We can also add new users. say Sandra, and then give them a password. And then we can assign them roles as an assistant. Then we add them so they appear on the users. Okay, that brings us to the end of the demo. Thank you.